Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the UMAC on the campus of Union High School for the 2021 Union basketball season. Tonight, Union's men's basketball team plays host to the Tigers from Broken Arrow in the kickoff of what is guaranteed to be an eventful basketball season. This evening, we usher in a new season of basketball with some new sights and some new sounds here on the Union Sports Network. Alongside our newest member, Casey Jordan, I'm Jim Douthit. So what's new? Well, we got HD cameras, we got a new site. So we got some different camera angles and a new voice here as we welcome in our color analysis, Casey Jordan. Casey, how are you?
I'm doing well, Jim. Getting to watch a little bit of basketball, so that's, can't really ask for much more.
That's right. In-person sports, it's really good to see, especially inside the arena. So let's get right to it. The Union men come off a season that they were 17-4, 8-3 in the Frontier Conference and headed to the state tournament. But as everybody is aware of now, COVID put an end to all that. And Coach Garcia's squad, they couldn't have the storybook ending that they were so desperate for, but that's all behind them in this 2021 season. Now, for Coach Bo Wallace in Broken Arrow, he brings back a host of starters with 10 seniors on the roster, 3 juniors and 2 sophomores, and a big man, a 6'7" Orion Buckner. So tonight, what does Union first need to do to kind of offset the size that Broken Arrow has and definitely the experience that they have?
The same thing for the girls' game, just roles reversed. They're going to have to use their speed and quickness to kind of take advantage of it, get Union's or BA's bigs really flowing. But Union's really going to have to look to finding their rhythm early. That's going to be their goal, is getting in a rhythm, getting a nice flow, and hopefully they can find that.
Right on. Now I talked to Coach Rudy Garcia, who's entering his 26th year here at Union, and he said one of the things that he needed was some of his seniors to step up and be a leader, or even a junior for that matter. What's that like when you've got a host of players that have never really started a game, all of a sudden they're pushed into starting roles, and they're not used to that kind of thing?
It's definitely, you want to find a guy that you can go to whenever it's crunch time, but, if you don't really know that, you're playing with a whole new, not necessarily a whole new team, but, new seniors, new juniors, to where they got to find it within themselves and, figure out as a team who are we going to lean on and use that leadership moving forward.
Very good. Very good. So we are about 30 seconds away from the national anthem and the starting lineups. We'll take a timeout. Tip-off, Broken Arrow and Union is next here on the Union Sports Network.
Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the John Q. Hammonds Arena on the campus of Union High School for tonight's Frontier Valley Conference matchup between Broken Arrow and Union. At this time, we ask that you please rise for the playing of our national anthem.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
First, let's meet the visitors, the Broken Arrow Tigers. At 6'2", a senior number 4, George McCurdy. At 6'1", a senior number 5, Ian Golden. At 6 foot, a senior number 10, Tyler Pender. At 6'3", a junior number 15, Jared Barnes. And at 6'6", a junior number 33, Simon Blair. Head coach for the Tigers is Bo Wallace, assisted by Mike Humphrey, Kerry King, and Evan Drake. And now for your Union starting 5. At 6'3", a freshman, number 1, Dalen Fuller. At 6'1", a senior, number 2, Aaron Davey. At 6'2", a senior, number 4, Jediah Jones. At 6 foot, a senior, number 11, A.J. Reed. And at 6'7", a sophomore, number 22, Trent Pierce. Head coach for Union is Rudy Garcia, assisted by Steve Geary, Mark Ritter, and Jonathan Washington. Officials for tonight's contest, Mr. Tyler Furness, Mr. Elo Chavez, and Mr. Rick Smith.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into the UMAC here on this campus of Union High School for game number 1 of Union basketball in the season of 2021. That is sure to be eventful. Alongside Casey Jordan, I'm Jim Douthit, and announcers are always interested in to see what the starting lineups are. And for Coach Rudy Garcia, he's going with the freshman at 6'3", Dalen Fuller.
You know, that's definitely something that you're going to look forward to. And if you know, for a school like Union, if you got a freshman that's stepping up and in the starting lineup day 1, that's fans should be pretty happy to see that.
So for Coach Garcia, he'll have Fuller, Davey, Jediah Jones, A.J. Reed, and Trent Pierce on the floor. As Davey takes over, they'll work the ball around up high. For Coach Bo Wallace, he's got McCurdy, Golden, Pinder, Barnes, and Blair. And Broken Arrow goes to work here.
Yeah, Fuller making a little bit of a freshman mistake, bouncing one off his leg, but that could be nerves, could be, you know, a little bit excited about making his first start as a letterman.
Yep. Especially in the big place here, off the mark there, rebound by Pierce. And man, they're pushing the floor quick. Davey for 3 buckets. And a great start here for Union.
You know, BA's got that senior leadership. They got 5 starters that are seniors, so they're, you know, this isn't their first time seeing, you know, an early lead like Union just took, so I see them settling down pretty quick.
Right on. Pushes inside, another rebound there by Pierce. Ball out of bounds, back to Broken Arrow. That could be nerves too if you're pushing the floor like that.
Yeah, you know, they're definitely they're trying to find their feet early, trying to figure out their rhythm, schemes, and whatnot. So it's pretty common to see turnovers at the beginning of a game. That's something that you'll look at, but you hope doesn't happen. But you know, for the most part, it does.
McCurdy takes a timeout, and he's going to talk. I said, excuse me, that's the referee's taking a timeout. They're going to talk about possibly some of the fans cheering. I'm not too sure what's happening here.
Not really for sure either. Looks like fans are maybe getting pushed back a little bit from the student section.
Now that's a possibility, especially in this COVID era, as we're back underway here.
Looks like they didn't have their mask on, so being told to put, no? I don't know.
Not too sure. Regardless, oh, it may have been. So there is kind of a rule about fans using the cones to yell.
Okay.
And so that was an issue early on in football last year. Of all things, outdoors it was an issue. But indoors here, from my understanding is that even if you're in a cheer squad, you're not allowed to use those cones to make your voice louder.
Okay.
So, okay.
I
It's
understand
a
what
rule.
you're saying, but it doesn't make sense.
Nope, absolutely. Sometimes we have rules in schools that don't make sense. So here we go. Jones up top to Davey. Davey will look it over. Some nice little moves there.
Union looking to push the tempo pretty early.
Right. Reed, nice little, call it an 18-footer. As Union up 5-0 early on.
Union's going to be looking for one of their seniors to step up and kind of take that leadership role. And so far, right now, it looks like A.J. Reed is going to be that guy.
Right now, for sure. As he gets kind of lost in the mix, he'll drive the baseline and he'll step out of bounds. Turnover, broken arrow.
Speaking of A.J. Reed, he did a good thing of using his body, forcing it to the baseline, and using that baseline as a second defender.
There you go. He's going to get charged with a push-off. Pierce will get charged with a push-off there.
Yeah, you got to be careful there. They don't like to see that forearm being extended. You can push off, but you get that forearm extended out too much. They don't like that, and typically will call it.
There it is. McCurdy drives hard, nice rebound there. Simon Blair gets on the board for the Tigers. As Reed up, floats it in. Nice little runner there.
In the stat book, that's 2 points, but he might not say that was a little lucky, but he was falling forward and kind of threw it up as a Hail Mary, and it counted. So.
That's it. It all looks good on the stats here. Oh, a little step back move. Ouch, Tyler Pinder showing a little move there.
Yeah, he's going to be feeling that one.
Yeah.
You could see him kind of probably pushing the tempo a little bit here in the next couple series.
Right on. Definitely some momentum there for Broken Arrow as it's early on. It's 7-4. Rebound there. Jones with the hustle. Great hands there by Fuller, and he'll take it in, and the foul. And he'll go to the line and shoot two. Fuller with nice hands. I sure thought that he had lost control of that ball as Jones had the nice hustle to track down the rebound.
Yeah, and he's showing pretty early on why, even though he's a freshman, while he's out there, he had nice body control. He didn't get too erratic going to the rim and used his body to try to, generate some force going forward, and did a nice job, just didn't come away with the points.
Right on. You got to make the free throws, but early on, shoot, 4:39 in the first quarter. First game for Union. I'm not sure if Broken Arrow got to play yet or not. I'm going to assume not in the era that we are right now. Union will take the early 8-4 lead.
For the fans that didn't get to see the girls game, Union's boys are going to a full court press pretty early, just like their ladies did.
There you go. Now there you talked about the fact that it was a size advantage for Coach Redmond's squad to have the full court press. There's not really, is there a size advantage? I don't see much of a size advantage as I look over the 10 players that are on the floor here. Why push in the full court?
Height-wise, no, but it looks like Union kind of has a little bit of length. They talked about arm length being a size measurable, and if you kind of look at a couple of their guys, they have nice length, so they could be using that as a reason of going to that full court press.
Right on. McCurdy with too many steps, and so turnover. Reed will bring it up, protect the ball well there. Look inside to the freshman. Freshman looking for some help. Another foul away from the ball. Dalen Fuller there, charged with the elbow.
Yeah, he was trying to set a little bit of a screen and just kind of got moving and extended that elbow. And
so we'll stay away from extended hands, extended elbows, and got to keep them tucked, in other words.
Yeah, they definitely don't want you extending because then you're impeding the lane there, even though it's.
Big steal by Pierce, hard to the basket and definitely fouled there, boy howdy. Didn't even get a chance to get the shot away as Blair will get charged with a foul.
Yeah, it was a hard foul, but it was clean, if that makes sense.
Sure.
You want to make them earn it at the charity stripe if you can't get a good swipe at the ball.
not getting the chance to shoot there. It's called it a non-shooting foul. As Trey Morris steps back in, bad inbound pass.
Yeah, he did a good job hustling and saving the ball and just didn't have any help on the backside.
Right on. Hands again. I tell you what, by golly, early on, Trent Pierce is showing some definite length, and I think you talked about it earlier. The fact that he's got some length to him in those arms, he's using it to his advantage.
Yeah, he's 6'7", but looking at that arm length, the kid's got a lot of range there. So if he gets active with those hands, he could be a real force that Union can take advantage of, and it looks like early on they're trying to.
Right on 8-4 with just over 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Davey will set it up. Look long here. Morris looking for some help.
Yeah, Union's trying to get it inside. They're setting a lot of high pick screens to get that ball moving inside right now. BA's just doing a good job of countering.
Right on. Another traveling away from the ball, traveling by AJ Reed causes another turnover. Little sloppy on really both sides, I would say.
Yeah, first game of the season. That's very typical.
Right on.
They'll get it calmed down, but refs showing early on that they're not going to let it get away with anything right now.
Right on. I guess we could say as long as it's called the same way both ways, then you got to say you got to be pretty happy with it. So, and he's going to get the call for the shooting foul. I'm not too sure how that play was different than what we saw on Union's end of the court just a few minutes ago, but regardless.
Davies had a little bit more going at the ball and holding it, so he was trying to go up with the ball.
Got it.
Davey had a hand on top and below, so he was impacting the shot there, so that's why it was called on the shot instead of a non-shooting foul.
Got it. Makes a lot of sense to me now. Trey Morris will set it up here.
You don't like to see that foul, but it was a good play. It just so happened to be a foul.
Right on. Jones up high, looks over, gives it to Davey. Davey will look, sets it back. Pierce, way off. Good look there by the young man, but way off, and a nice steal by Reed. Him and Jones will push the floor. It was really 3-on-4. It was a good idea for Reed to slow it down and give it back to Davey and let us set it up. Coach Rudy Garcia barking some orders. 1:56 remaining in the first.
Yeah, early on, Union showing the athleticism that they have. BA has maybe a slight height advantage, but right now Union is being very athletic and very quick, using that speed, which you really like to see if you're a Union fan.
Right on. Charging foul. AJ Reed, that's his second.
Yeah, you don't like to see that, especially in the first quarter. AJ Reed had the hot hand already with 4 points, and going to the bench before the first quarter is even done is not something that you want to see if you're.
Right on. AJ actually will stay in. Davey takes a seat. Out comes Cody Nagy.
Oh.
And Nagy will be in.
Yeah, unfortunate right there. It was a good play by Davey right there to block the shot, or Pierce to block the shot. It's just his teammate caught it out of bounds.
Yep. Got to stay in bounds. Part of the game.
Unless you're playing NBA Street, which I don't know if that's a game anymore like it used to back when we were kids.
Back when we were kids. You're so kind, Mr. Jordan.
Yeah, I'll do what I can.
Yeah, that a boy. It was Pong for me, young man. It was Pong for me. All right. Back here, we got 1:26 minutes remaining. 8-6, kind of a low-scoring affair compared to what we saw in the girls' game. But both girls' teams in Broken Arrow and Union had a game under their belt. Broken Arrow girls played on Saturday, and then the Union girls had played last night. So nothing. They got some of the cobwebs worked out. So I think what you said earlier, these two teams got to work the cobwebs out tonight.
Yeah, it's not something that you want to see. First game out of the back, playing a close rival like BA, but it is what it is in this time. And typically you want to start out with a non-conference game. It's just right now, sadly, these boys didn't get an opportunity to do that.
Right on. Talley will be charged with a foul there. Jones throws it out. Trey Morris will set it up. Just over a minute remaining in the first quarter. Oh, and a big foul there. Morris will go to the line and shoot 2.
Yeah, you like to see him being aggressive right there, and you did what you want him to do. If he's not getting points, he's now going to the charity stripe, so hopefully he can connect on these and get some points on the board for him.
Very good. A.J. Reed will check out. Going to go down, and actually that's a lie. He's going to go get a drink. My bad. Now he checks out. Neil Kinney, number 24, checks back in. Kinney working on the nice flow there. I'd kill to have hair like that.
It just seems like a lot of maintenance to me, but that,
A lot of cost on product. 10-8 Union, big drive there, and Kinney comes out. I think he got a little bit of that ball. Union pushes it back the other way. The dish. No foul at all, but Union quick to the ball to get it back.
Yeah, foul wasn't there. BA's defender got his feet set, which, if you're BA's head coach, you'd definitely like to see that. So, quick hands right there.
Turnover there. Broken Arrow pushes it down. Oh, and a nice steal by Morris. And he'll push it back to the rack. And a charge. There was the call that BA's coach probably wanted a play before that.
Yep.
Aggressive on both ends, I would say.
Yeah, he was inside the line and got his feet set, and as a defender, that's what you want, and he did it textbook and got the call that you want to get.
Right on. Andy's laughing at me up in the booth or up in the box right now because of what I just said. 15 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Broken Arrow controlling it. Nice ball movement there. Shot just off. Rebound Union, and there's a foul.
Yeah, BA had very nice ball movement right there, getting him going side to side. Took it. He honestly had a good shot. Just
Right on.
unfortunately didn't go in.
Right on. Golden charged with a foul there. Kinney will take it out of bounds for Union. One of Union's coaches pointing up at the scoreboard, reminding them that there's only 6 seconds left. Trey Morris will push it up. Well, he almost took too many steps there. He throws it away. Launches it.
From this angle, that looked like that was going in.
Yep. From our vantage point, it sure looked like it was going in. 10-8. Union on top. We're back in 30 seconds on the Union Sports Network. All right, guys, welcome back in here to the UMAC on the campus of Union High School, where we're getting ready to start the second quarter. It's Union up 10-8 early on. Some sloppy basketball really in the first quarter, Casey, to say the least, but effort.
Yeah,
Both teams pushing it.
Both teams are pushing the tempo, and that looks like that's probably going to be their style this year. It's just early on right there again with another turnover. It's when you push the tempo, it's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be pretty sloppy or you're going to be very happy with your results. And right now, both teams are sadly playing a little bit sloppy.
And thus not happy with the result. Neil Kinney there got charged with the travel after he hustled to get the ball away.
Luckily, it's early, though, so they got plenty of time to correct it and kind of start maybe running some set plays, getting the ball moving.
Boy, that was a beautiful play by Broken Arrow, but they can't make the finish. Pushing it inside. So something to talk about. Is it very similar to football? And we talked about this off air. Is it very similar to football where you you establish the run to set up the pass. So do you try to establish yourself in the paint in order to set up the three ball?
Yeah,
or?
if you can establish the paint, then you're going to force those defenders to pull in to kind of help out on the backside. So you can get it forced in inside, get some early buckets. That's going to draw those defenders in. Then you can get some better looks for your high percentage shots or three-point shots for some of your better three-point shooters. So
Right on. Right there, Morris charged with the travel. Official got a little help from the coaches on the Broken Arrow side. I don't think it was going to be called until the BA coaches, Bo Wallace, Mike Humphrey, got that call, but that's all right. That's how we play.
yeah, BA's really wanting to force this ball inside, which is, they have a little bit of height there. So
Steal there, down to the hole, and a nice finish. Cody Nagy with a nice bucket.
yeah, he had a little bit of getting a foul called right there on Mo there for knocking the ball out of bounds, preceding the BA's chances of pushing it up court quickly.
Gotcha. So that's what the call was, 12-10.
You don't like to see it, but he acknowledged it pretty quick that it was on him, and it's not something he wanted to do, but you like to see him acknowledge it pretty quick.
Right on. Bump foul there. Tyler Piner really selling that, if you will, for the Tigers. Morris picks up his second foul there. We're already at the 1-and-1 mark. It's going to be a long game if we're calling every foul up the floor, Casey.
Yeah, it's the last couple of years, it's really kind of been that trend. There's been a lot more fouls called, and fans such as us, we don't like to see it, but it's the style of play right now. So you typically see a lot of fouls early on, and whether it's in your favor or not, you don't like to see it.
Right. I think there's a rhythm that's set up when you can like that. Three ball missed, tries to get his own rebound there, but Broken Arrow will pick it up.
Yeah, when you get a lot of fouls called, it really slows down the tempo. It slows down the flow of the game. So you're taking a lot of time that you can work on fast pace, pushing the ball, and
hard to the hole there, nice rebound. So talk about that. If you're pushing the pace, if there is a nice job there, A.J. Reed back in the game. So if there's a lot of fouls called and the pace is slowed down, what style of team does that favor to if it's a slower game?
It really favors those teams that run a lot of set plays, kind of like in football. If you have a team that's typically wants to run the ball, they're not going to be running a lot of up-tempo style of offense. So if you're a run and gun type of team, you want that flow going in that style. And if you get a lot of fouls going, it stops that run and gun offense that you want to run. So it can damper with things because you practice speed, and if you take that speed away from them, it can really affect it.
Got it. Reed will step to the line.
And that kind of looks like what we have tonight. Union wants to push the ball. BA's looking to establish an inside presence. So Union not being able to push like they want could really affect some things and get them frustrated, which in BA's turn, that makes them happy because if Union's being erratic with the ball.
Tied up 25, Aaron Johnson there for Broken Arrow going hard to the hole. Ball out of bounds to Union. Trey Morris will throw it in. What are we going to try to set up here? Something quick up underneath?
Typically you see that's the secondary option. So
Got it.
typically you like to see getting it out early, setting a screen for either a three or a low inside present shot. And
Gotcha.
on that case, they didn't get either, so they just threw it out before the 5-second count.
Got it. Knowing that you've got somebody with AJ's speed out there, he's going to be able to track it down pretty quick. Gotcha. Ball way up, out of bounds. Really some poor shooting on both ends.
Yeah, that one, even though it looked like a good shot, he really kind of forced it and wasn't, as you could see from his head coach right there, telling him telling him to push that inside because that's what that one was open.
Got it. Davey for three. Buckets beautifully done there. Nice ball movement. And that's where Union slowed it down. They set it up, and they got the look that they wanted. That was a great move. I don't know how many steps he took there, but that was a great move by Tyler Pinder, and he'll shoot two. Pierce is charged with a foul. That'll be number 2 on Pierce.
Yeah, you like to see that from Pinder. He's pushing it inside. He's being aggressive. And down the line, if Union keeps fouling him whenever he's going in, that's going to really hurt them in the long run. Right now, Union's, they're up to 10 fouls, so and we're not even halfway into the second quarter.
There you go. Devon Sanders checks in, number 13 for Union. Devon got to play a lot of JV earlier on.
Some of your varsity guys typically will play JV just to kind of settle their nerves, get them some experience in. Definitely want it for those younger guys.
Out of bounds on Broken Arrow. Reed will throw it in on Eilide. Trey Morris will throw it in. He'll get it back out to A.J. Reed. Reed will set it up. Inside. Can't handle the pass. Broken Arrow will come away with it. Want to really see Fuller handle the ball a little bit better than that. Nice rebound there by Sanders, and he'll push it up to Fuller. Fuller going hard to the rack, and a nice lay-in.
He does not look like a freshman tonight.
I don't know anybody in the 9th grade that's 6'3", that looks like a 9th grader. It's just not there. They got another young freshman by the name of Eric Madrid, number 55, and if we get to see him, man, he is 6'8". Reminds me a little bit of Big Country Reeves, probably just in size alone.
Yeah, Big Country was in a class of his own. There's a little documentary where you hear Shaq talking about he was the hardest person that he ever guarded just because he was a big man that dribbled like a point guard. So
right.
If
Off the mark
Eric
there
can
on Union.
live up to Big Country's reputation, he's got a long career ahead of him.
Yep, absolutely. Ball out of bounds. Broken Arrow will get it back there. As Talley and Pinder check back in for Broken Arrow. Pinder will take the ball out of bounds. .334 remaining here in the second. Tight ball game, 19-18 Union. Now, why do you put that on the floor?
Typically in that situation, him putting it on the floor right there was try to get a better angle, but he had a good shot. He just needs to trust in himself and take that moving forward, which, with BA leaning on their seniors, halftime adjustment, that's probably something he'll do.
Right on. Jones checks back in. Cody Nagy checks back in. Aaron Davey brings it up the floor for Union. Just over 3 minutes remaining, over to Jones. Jones double team there.
Yeah, BA going to a little bit of half-court press right now.
Union getting the ball out quick. Sanders to Jones. Jones is going to drive the baseline, and he's rejected, but he gets his own rebound. And then the foul. That's good work by the senior in Jones to not let that rejection get the best of him.
No, BA's making him work for it, but he stuck with it, kept fighting, and that's something that you like to see.
Jones will shoot 2, and he'll make the first of 2. Jared Barnes checks out for Broken Arrow, and Jones makes them both. Now Union returns with kind of a full court type of press. Looks like it's a 1-2-2.
Yeah, typically going to that 1-2-2, you got your quick guys up front because they're going to have a lot of movement going forward.
And a 3-ball there by Connor Dow. And Connor Dow's in the game. Sanders pushes it to Jones, back to Sanders, over to Davey. Jones with the ball. Jones there. Fuller drives back to Sanders, trying to make something inside. Sanders with the big move, can't get the ball to go. Nice defense there by Broken Arrow. Sanders just tripped over his own feet there. And another 3-ball by Pinder. And Broken Arrow takes, I believe, their first lead of the game at 24-21 with 2 minutes remaining. Hustle there, jump ball. Coach Garcia's looking at the officials in some disgust. Not happy with what was happening on the floor.
Yeah, he's not too happy with that. That, in my opinion, should have been a little bit of a jump ball, but it is what it is.
Right on. Possession arrow to Union, and Union will get the ball after all. It's not with the way Coach Garcia was barking. It sure didn't look like that was going in our favor.
No, it didn't.
Fuller will set it up now. He's looking for Davey on the baseline. Fuller stops, pulls it up, back up top to Sanders.
Yeah, you don't like to see him pull it up right there.
Right. Jones tried to draw the foul. Davey with the rebound. Heart of the hole, can't get it to go either. Fuller with a nice hands. And there's a reach-in foul on Pinder.
Union did a good job crashing the boards right there. They were very relentless, didn't give up, and
great grit, if you will.
yes. But Fuller keeps showing why, as a 6'3" freshman, why he's out there. He's battling hard so far here in the first half.
There you go. Trent Pierce is that sophomore that I had mentioned to you earlier, off air, that a freshman last year that got a lot of playing time, and we'll see a lot more of him as this game goes on, I'm sure. Ball out of bounds, knocked out by Broken Arrow. Davey will take it out for Union.
Yeah, Union, they're kind of in a little bit of a disadvantage just to youth. I mean, you're starting a freshman. One of your other key contributors is a sophomore, where BA is 5 senior starters. So
correct, great ball movement there, and Sanders gets it in. With a minute remaining here in the first half, Union finds himself down by 4 now. As welcome to the game, Connor Dow for Broken Arrow.
as we talk about Broken Arrow's seniors, the sophomore said, hey, let me show you something real quick.
There you go. Connor Dow telling coach, hey, this is the reason I need to be in the game. And a foul off the ball. Hey, I want to remind everybody, part one of my conversation with boys head coach Rudy Garcia is coming up at halftime. We look back at the career that has spanned 26 years. We dive into what it's like to end the season the way it did and his thoughts on the culture of basketball and much, much more. That's coming up at halftime here of this boys game on the Union Sports Network as Sanders steps in to shoot 2. We in the double bonus, we are. Kenny checks back in as Cody Nagy has a seat. 40 seconds remaining here in the first half. In an entertaining, what's been, I would say, more of an entertaining second quarter than first, for sure.
Yeah, it kind of seems like both teams are finding a little bit of their rhythm, The only problem is now both of them into that double figures when it comes to fouls. So the last 40 seconds of this game could potentially be a lot of quick fouls being called.
Right on. I would say for sure that we used to joke with my father about the fact that the last minute of a basketball game can take as long as a quarter of football. It seems like, with your timeouts and your fouls, and especially close games near the end, they take forever.
Yeah, Yeah, they can. And that's one thing that, if you're a run and gun type of team, that could really downplay what you want to do is getting that ball moving and getting it flowing and getting people open lanes is what you're looking for. So any stoppage is not helping what you're wanting to do.
Fuller with the long basket rebound, broken arrow, and they're going to push the pace. Nice little move and a block by Kinney. Senior with some length there, getting the block. Definitely balled a broken arrow, but nice hustle by Kinney to get back.
Yeah, nice hustle there, but it's the second time this half that they've been unfortunate to make a good defensive play to have a guy standing out of bounds that just kind of gets in the way.
Right on. 7 seconds, Sanders pushes it up the floor. He doesn't have to take that shot, but he did. He gets his own rebound. And it works out. 29-25 at half.
Yeah, he got he got lucky there. That's not something you typically see with 7 seconds on the clock throwing it up from half court. But he got his own rebound and looked like that was part of his plan.
That's right. My conversation with Coach Rudy Garcia starts right now. Coach, thanks for being here. We appreciate the time very much. So let's start by looking back at the 1920, the end of that season. Union 17-4. They're 8-3 in the Frontier League. I think you're ranked 6th at the time. And your team seemed to be gelling at the right time. Playoffs are here, and then COVID takes over.
Yeah.
Describe your personal thoughts on the season ending that way. I mean, what did you tell your seniors at that point?
Well, obviously it's disappointing. I mean, you felt for your seniors just because it was their last opportunity to play for a state championship, and it's disappointing for your underclassmen because you're not guaranteed of getting back there, and so to have that taken away, because I thought we were really playing well late in the year. I thought we'd found our stride as far as the things we were trying to do as a team, because I can't remember how many we won there at the end in a row, but so it was very disappointing. The seniors, you talked to them, and at the time we still had hopes that we might still play. So we saw them on that Thursday when we found out, and we got to see them again on Friday, and still had hopes of playing because they kept thinking, well, we're going to have a chance to maybe try to play this thing, and so I don't know that and then it was over. School was out, and we didn't really get to see them.
Right.
So there was some closure to it, but not probably total closure as far as because we really didn't get a chance to see them. Didn't get to have our end of year banquet, those type of things that to celebrate what they had accomplished, because they did accomplish a lot. So it's very disappointing. It's like I said, just for those kids, coaching staff, the time and energy you put in to get there, and then to have it taken away. And I know we understand why, but but then again, the whole thing was just kind of starting, and you think, well, can we not get in 3 days
Right.
and get this thing knocked out and everything? But like I said, just a disappointing time for everybody, and obviously we understand why, and trying to move forward and try to prepare for this next year, it's been a challenge.
So let's talk about that next year. You end the year. You brought it up. What was the message to your underclassmen at that point? I mean, you had a freshman and that was starting for you guys at times, or at least playing a lot. What do you tell them to keep them motivated to come back?
Well, I think a lot of that is, obviously being young, they have that opportunity to come back, and it's just at that time you're like, we knew we couldn't do a lot of off-season work, so a lot of them play on competitive teams, and they see a lot of them go to personal trainers and that type of thing. So a lot of them stay active. It's just a matter of keeping them engaged with the union and knowing that, hey, we'll have next year, and we just got to continue to work, and whatever's thrown at us, we'll try to handle it as best we can. Because we didn't really get to start working out much till the summer, and it was limited. It was what we could, were allowed to do. And so really didn't get to start doing a whole lot till school started. Right. And so it was probably an important summer that they were playing out on their own with some competitive teams because they were still allowed to play. But I think the young guys are eager to play, and come back and see if they can get back there and experience what that senior class did.
And it's not like this program is going through something that nobody else is going through.
Yeah.
It's an even playing field for everybody else in the Frontier Conference, and really across the nation for that matter, when it comes to what sports is going through.
Yeah, and from that standpoint, you can view it that way. It's like, hey, everybody else is dealing with this right now, and it's going to be a challenge. I mean, we've had some, we've had some kids out due to the contact and those type of things, and so it's just trying to adjust daily in practice who you're going to have, who you're not going to have. It gets a little frustrating at times, but like you said, everybody's going through it, and there have been some teams here around the Oklahoma City area that have been totally shut down and haven't even been able to see their teams or practice. So we're still fortunate that, like I was telling them today, is we should feel fortunate that we are still allowed to practice and get ready for this first game, and that we have an opportunity to play if we do what we're supposed to do. So about 2 weeks away from the first game, so a little urgency needs to kick in, a little bit more of excitement because it has been a grind here early.
Sure.
But hopefully we can stay healthy throughout this thing and get an opportunity to play.
Yeah, with Broken Arrow coming up, and actually this will air at halftime. Part of this will air at halftime during the Broken Arrow game. Talk about 26 years. Is there anything that you've been through in the 26 years of coaching that you can draw from to help you through what we're going through now as a coach?
I don't know. I don't know that really there is in the time that I've been here that has happened that I could draw from that would, as far as dealing with this type of pandemic where you just don't know what's going to happen day to day. And really life is that way. You don't know day to day what's going to happen. You can walk out the door and something happen, and you just don't know what each day is going to bring. But I know this has brought on a lot of more challenges each day as to because, like I said, we've had some kids here that are gone right now from practice, and you wake up every day wondering who's going to be here today, and everything. So when that phone rings from one of my parents or one of my kids, you're like, so
yeah,
it's kinda,
you kind of anticipate.
Yeah, that's something that we're probably not going to get good news, and obviously their health and welfare comes first and things. So, but yeah, it's I don't think there's really anything that I could have gone through, as far as with what's going on right now. Yeah.
So let's fast forward. So we talk about the end of 1920. Fast forward to practice day one. You said it was sometime in October. Walk me through what that conversation is like day one. You've got a handful of new players, obviously your returners, your seniors, and I know Neil Kinney for sure, Jediah Jones for sure, and some of the other names escape me. But what's kind of your message? What's the attitude with those guys coming back in?
It's time to go. I mean, this is especially your seniors, this is your last time, to put that uniform on and represent Union. And what do you want to do with that opportunity? It's time to go to work, set the tone for the young guys, as far as being leaders. I think we're struggling with that a little bit right now with some leadership issues with some guys. Sometimes it's hard for young guys to be leaders, or if they don't feel like they can be a leader, so they have to maybe be more, show it more in their actions on the court, not so much verbal or and things. And that's where you hope your seniors would step up and be those verbal leaders and take control, just knowing that this is their last time, and we want to get back there. So it's going to take work, and those are the types of things we talk to them about. It's just not going to come easy. Nobody's going to lay down and just because you're Union. I mean, if anything, people are going to more likely to bring their A game than anything. So it's one of those that they know what to expect and things, but it's just try to communicate with them and try to get them to understand that the leadership is going to be very important for us this year, as far as just getting us to play at a consistent level.
Sure. Now, as these scrimmages, and you've got the scrimmage a few times, we talked about that earlier, but as the scrimmages and practices have played out to this point, what's been the reaction of your players overall, not only to what is happening on the court and what you're preaching to them, but have you seen, and have they talked to you about anything that's going on off the court that really is affecting or helping their situation?
You know, there hasn't been a lot of conversation so much as to what's taking place away from here. I think everybody understands what's out there and what we're dealing with. I think, you know, as players and as coaches, this is our opportunity, it's kind of our release from that COVID pandemic type deal. So we can kind of put that behind us during that time that we're on the court for 2-3 hours, and just say, hey, we can focus on basketball and just put all that behind us. And then once we walk out of the gym, obviously it smacks you in the face. But you know, it's one of those. I think that, you know, early on, I think we were talking earlier. You know, I think there's just been a lot of inconsistencies with our team right now, especially in the preseason. And I think sometimes scrimmages can be a little misleading because you're trying different combinations of guys. You try to work on some things. Maybe some things are working well for you, and then you decide, hey, we need to work on this, and we go away from what's going well. Like you asked about the East Central scrimmage, we were doing some really good things early, but there was things I wanted to work on, so kind of took us out of our flow of what we were doing. So then maybe slowed us down a little bit as to what we were trying to do, and things. So scrimmages sometimes, you know, you just want to see consistent effort, and we can't have the same mistakes. And I think that's what we have. At times is just a little bit inconsistent in effort and maybe some decisions that we're making on the floor, but all correctable stuff. You know, these guys, I mean, they're good kids. I mean, I enjoy them.
Welcome back for the second half. Broken Arrow Union game. Broken Arrow leads 25-29 as we're just underway here in the third quarter. Three-pointer there, attempt. Ball out of bounds to Broken Arrow. So, Casey, halftime adjustments. Coach Rudy Garcia's team, what's he need to do?
You know, in the first half, it looked like they were really wanting to be up-tempo and push the pace. You know, might slow it down just a little bit, try to run a little bit more set plays, kind of relax those nerves a little bit, and kind of go from there, see how it goes.
Turnaround jumper missed there, and the foul will be charged to Jared Barnes. And what about for Bo Wallace's squad over there in Broken Arrow? What's he looking to do?
You know, he definitely, you know, he's got that senior leadership, so I could see him still, you know, wanting to push that tempo. You know, they got the experience, they got what they need, so they're going to keep working on their game plan and probably push it and try to get Union into a position of fouling them early and fouling them often.
Fouls were a big issue in the first half as both teams were in the doubles, I think, with 5 minutes or so remaining in the second quarter. So we'll see if fouls are an issue as these officials have called quite the tight game. Turnover there, nice hands by Dalen Fuller. Excuse me, by Trent Pierce, my fault.
Yeah,
My fault.
Jared Barnes for BA, he's really got to be careful. He's got 3 fouls, so you know, if I'm Union, I'm going at him pretty early and pretty quick just to try to get him that 4th foul and get him back on the bench.
Jones there missed the short little jumper, but he gets the steal and the hard foul there. Jones to the basket, and McCurdy will get charged with a foul.
I like to see him get up quick like he did, so that's a nice sign. That was a pretty hard foul. Wasn't intentional. I mean, definitely going for the ball, but it was a tough one.
Jones will shoot 2. He'll miss the first. Something that we've got to do early on, and if I remember correctly, you weren't here, but last season started pretty slow from the free throw percentage for Coach Garcia's team, and it looks like it's kind of been a little rough for him early on here as well.
Yeah, you definitely want to take advantage of the free throw line. You know, it's not necessarily as easy as people think getting up there, having to go through every player has a rhythm. They have a flow of what they do, whether it's 3 dribbles and a spin, and getting those points could be crucial to some teams. And right now for Union, they need to take advantage of it.
Right on. Jones gets one of the 2. Pinder will bring it up. Rebound Davy. Davy with a long outlet pass. Jump ball. Jones can't come down with it.
Yeah, you had a nice block there by Pierce, and they tried to push it, and the ball kind of got away from him a little bit.
Connor Dow trying the 32-footer. Oh my. He was hot early on. Can't get that to go, but boy, nobody there for the rebound. Just let him shoot. And
yeah, you'd like to see crashing the boards a little bit, but kind of like what we said earlier, it seems to be the style of play these days. But if I'm a coach, I'm pushing it. I'm telling my players to crash the boards, get those second chance points.
Well, and that was something that Coach Joe Redmond's team did very, very well. The girls did, was crashing the boards. Kaylin Nelson had a number of rebounds for them early on, and that definitely helped that victory.
For some reason, I don't know why, it's just not preached as much as it used to be, but if you get those second chance points, you want to take advantage of those, and crashing the boards is one way to do it. I know they don't like everybody flowing in at one point, because it can risk injury and whatnot, but you get crashing the boards, you get second chance points, and something you can take advantage moving down the line.
Trent Pierce will shoot the second of 2. Morris checks back in for Union. So on the floor for Union, you've got A.J. Reed, Aaron Davey, the aforementioned Trent Pierce, Trey Morris, and Jediah Jones. 29-27, Broken Arrow. And the charge foul, Davey draws the charge. Nice foot plant there by the fella.
Yeah, Davey didn't quite have his feet set, but he got lucky that whenever he was coming in, he lowered that shoulder and really drove into him. So you're going to get that call the majority of the time.
Morris will bring it up for Union. 5:26 remaining here in the third quarter. Coach Garcia barking some orders out to his squad. Davey picks it up to Reed. Reed drives short. Reach in foul there. Charge to number 22. That's third on Pierce. At what point, Casey, do you start worrying about fouls?
Well,
Are we at that point yet?
Pierce right now is up to 3, and that's something that you definitely don't want to see with 5 minutes left in the third. So he's got to be careful. You want to keep him out there because of his length, but he's got to be careful with those hands, careful with his body, and get those feet set if he is going to try to take a charge.
Full court press coming here for Coach Garcia's squad. Nice hands there. Davey with the steal to Reed. Reed to the bucket. Oh, and a big jam! Nicely done there, and that'll get this crowd back into it a little bit. As he went right over Dow, and Dow tries to return. Dow hard, and a jump ball there. I believe it was Dow that tried to get the block. A.J. Reed was able to jam it down. Broken Arrow will take a timeout, and so will we. You're watching Union Basketball on the Union Sports Network. as we welcome you back in here, the UMAC at the campus of Union High School. And Casey, a little update there on the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Yeah, we got a little bit, about 50 seconds left. Cowboys with a 6-point lead. For some of you that don't know, they have a star freshman in Cade Cunningham, who's having himself quite the night with 25 points. But they got another kid from Canada. They call him MAM, M-A-M. He was the Canada Player of the Year, coming in with 15 points off the bench. So that's pretty nice for them. They should close this out and have a nice win.
And that's a win over
Oral
Roberts,
Roberts,
right?
yeah.
That is good. Pierce there with the nice bucket, and Union will take the 2-point lead.
I believe this is their first lead since midway through the first quarter, or midway through the second quarter.
Second quarter, I would say. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And quickly, Broken Arrow calls a timeout. We come down and get a quick 2. Broken Arrow throws the ball away. And, you know, coming out of a timeout, that's not something you want as a coach.
No, I mean, Union, one thing that they did was it seems like they're taking advantage of that dunk early on.
And there it is.
And you get that momentum flowing. You know, now you have a 5-point swing, and it's something that you got to keep pushing. Now they're going to a full court press. So, you know, they're trying to keep pushing that momentum and almost came away with a steal right there.
Right. There's going to be a foul called on Davey. Little reach-in action.
Yeah, he did a nice job there controlling his body, but he's just got to get a little bit more in front, not at the side whenever he's going at him.
So putting your body in front of him, is that the hope is to get the charge at that point?
Yeah, you want to get a little bit more in front of them to kind of get them driving into you. Whenever you're pushing from the side, they're looking at that as an extension of the body. So you're pushing them away, and you know, he got called for it right there. So if he can get a little bit, maybe a half step faster, getting in front of him, he has a good opportunity to put himself in a good position.
McCurdy will set it up here for Broken Arrow. Over to Dow. And they'll work the perimeter. Some great defense there again. 3 off. Rebound, Broken Arrow.
You really want to see Reed crash the boards right there. He was in a good position for a backside rebound. It just stood out.
Everybody got running around there and left Simon Blair all alone.
Yeah,
And I think we've got ourselves a ball game.
Yeah, Pinder had a nice move, and then he comes up with a steal and a push right there. Almost came away with 2.
Ball out of bounds. Get the call there as the ball seemed to go off McCurdy. Union will get the ball with 2:58 remaining here in the third quarter. 34-31. And I'm not too sure what was called there.
Oh, substitution.
Got it.
A little bit of a substitution before the ball was brought out.
So ball rewarded back to Broken Arrow. I'm assuming.
No, not for sure. Union had the ball.
Right.
Now it's going back to Union. So, null and void.
Okay. This is when we need to have a rules expert like they do on, you know, all the football broadcasts. Somebody can tell us what actually happened there. Union will set it up. Fuller up high to Morris. Morris will back up, wait for Coach Garcia to bark out a few orders. Kenny tries to set the screen.
Looked like he was wanting to take a shot there, but that was for some reason.
Oh! Reed looking like he was going to go in and try to slam it, decided just to lay it in. I don't think he had enough height to get it dunked at that point.
He's looking like Dwayne Wade out here right now.
Oh, nice inside move. Broken Arrow can't get the ball to fall, but they crash the boards and they get back. Can't get the 3 ball to fall. Pierce will pull away with it. Pierce to Morris to Reed.
Pierce getting a little help from the crowd right there, yelling Wolf, letting him know he had one running up behind him.
Yep. Yeah, I got to hand it to the Broken Arrow fans. They definitely showed up tonight, and they are vocal, and they are sure rooting their team on this evening. Getting the friendly roll there.
You know, you like to see the points there, but as a player, you definitely don't like to see it bounce around 10 times like that
Before it falls in. That makes a lot of sense. 36-34, Union on top. Just over a minute to play here in the third quarter. We welcome you in alongside Casey Jordan. I'm Jim Douthit, and Trey Morris with a bucket. And Union extends their lead to 4. Casey, is that a final from Stillwater yet?
It looks like we got just about 2 seconds left. Oklahoma State has a 3-point lead, so you know, unless something changes here in the next couple of seconds, it looks like it will be a final.
Nice bounce pass to Reed. Reed's going to go 1-on-2. Now at that point, Casey, don't we want to slow it down and realize the situation? You got 1-on-2 or 1-on-3 there. Are you really going to get any basket out of that?
No, you'd like to see him take that back out and, you know, run your offense and get a set play there. But, you know, in the moment, it's easier said than done. He's probably going to get a little bit of word from coach, just saying, hey man, next time let's bring that out and run a set play.
30 seconds to play here in the third quarter. McCurdy brings it up. I like this young man. I like the way he handles the ball and he handles himself. Jumper there, short, rebound Sanders. Sanders to Morris. Morris will bring it up, and Coach Rudy Garcia tells him, hey, slow down. Probably look for the last shot here with 12 seconds.
You know, Sanders isn't the tallest guy on the court, but he's playing with a lot of effort, something that you really like to see. You know, I say 6'1", like that's, you know, short, but when it comes to basketball, that's not the tallest guy on the court. So he's, you know, you like to see him playing bigger than he is.
Very good. We're at the end of the third, 38-34. Union on top. You're watching Union basketball on the Union Sports Network. Welcome back inside the UMAC as we start the fourth quarter with Union on top of BA right now by 4, 38-34. A spirited affair for sure. What was very, very sloppy early on has gotten a little bit better. Pace is good. Basketball is pretty good, and I'll tell you this, for Coach Garcia, he's had a plethora of players in tonight.
Yeah, you know, both teams have definitely slowed it down. It looks like they're trying to slow the tempo to get a little bit more control, because that first half, it was kind of all over the place. So you want to slow it down, get more within yourselves and within your system, you know, and take advantage of fast breaks when you get them. But for the most part, just try to be more controlled.
This Union team seems to have been invigorated by that A.J. Reed dunk. Then he comes back and has a three-pointer almost within the next 30 to 45 seconds. And the momentum has seemed to have swung back in Union's favor.
Yeah, Union's gone on about I want to say it's about a 10-4 run. So, you know, you like to take advantage of that when you can, but stay within yourselves, because that can switch up just as fast as it happens. So,
right,
you want to be careful and not get too out of control. And
Sanders will bring it up now. So what kind of offense are we running here? Got two players up high. Now they
just a half-court press. You know, they kind of backed away from that full-court press because Union was taking advantage of it. Now,
and it works out as travel will be called there on Morris.
yeah, he picked the ball up a little bit mid-step, which you definitely don't want to see. He got out of position. You know, BA did a good job of pushing him to the boundary. You know, using that out-of-bounds line as that second defender.
Something to think about there with you youngins that are watching us. You definitely can use the boundaries to your advantage. Nice putback there by Niblink.
You know, that's definitely things you work on. You want to get that body in a good position, force them to the baseline because that's another defender. So you turn it into 6-on-5, which is something you want. Now on the offensive side, you don't want to get caught in that position, but sometimes it happens, and you know that time it hurt them. Got a ball off the foot and turned into a travel,
And now we're back to a 1-point lead for Union. As A.J. Reed checks back in, Mo Renty has a seat.
BA is going to a full court man-to-man.
Push it there, Morris for three. Little short there, nice rebound, all but stolen by Pinder.
Yeah, Pinder's, you know, he's playing hard on both ends of the court. He got a nice, you know, Pierce come up with a good rebound. That's what you want to see, crashing the boards, but Pinder quick with those hands and got it before he was coming up. And now he's going to go to the line and see if he can take advantage of it.
Well, and there again, sophomore getting the rebound, senior right there. Senior's been in this moment, obviously, a number of more times than your sophomore is, and he gets the ball straight from him. So.
Yeah, you like to see that, quick hands from him. You know, it honestly wasn't a bad play by Pierce. He brought the ball down a little bit lower than he probably wanted to. Pinder took advantage of it, but it was a good play by Pierce. You just, you know, sophomore, he's going to make those mistakes. And
there's a turnover by Broken Arrow as they go up by one with those free throws. And this is going to come down to the wire for sure with 6:30 remaining here in the fourth.
Yeah, BA's on a 5-0 run, took the lead. That full court man-to-man has been a little bit of a nuisance to Union, so they're going to want to try to figure out something to get that ball coming up quick.
That's an over and back. Well, I guess not.
No.
Because of the tip?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so they got away with the tip there, so that kind of helped them to where it turned into a
and the foul hard to the basket was Nagy. Foul be charged to Jared Barnes. That's going to be his fourth.
Yeah, he's had a rough night. He, you know, got 2 quick fouls there in the first quarter, then came back in the second quarter, had another foul, set the rest of the half. Now he's up to 4 fouls, so he's really got to be careful. You want him out there because he's a senior. 6 minutes left, but you know you got to be careful here now. But if I'm Union, I'm going after him. I want to get him into that 5th foul because you know he's going to be playing a little bit conservative to try to not go out of the game. So if I'm Union, I'm pushing it at him real quick and real fast.
Nagy will shoot the second of 2 as Davey checked back in, and he missed them both. Got to get them from the charity stripe, and you brought it up earlier. Something that when you get them, even 1 out of 2. You got to shoot 50% from there. But I'm not too sure what the stats are on it tonight, but I know we're not even close to 50%. And oh my goodness. Breakdown and coverage there for sure.
Yeah, that was a little bit of parting of the Red Sea for him, and he took advantage of it. Sometimes you see those young guys, they see that lane open up like that, and their eyes get about as big as the backboard.
And there it is. Foul be charged there, and Pierce will go to the line. Look like we got the favored call there.
Yeah, Pinder wasn't too happy about that. Sadly, I didn't see it, so couldn't tell what happened, but he didn't seem too happy with the call. But he's up to 4 fouls, so he's got to be careful too.
Right. If you're wondering at home, on the floor, the player with the most fouls is Pierce with 3. And he's got 4 points. Leaders on the floor right now, A.J. Reed with 10 and only 2 fouls. And there's a steal. Nicely done. Cody Nagy steal in the bucket, and we're tied at 41 with 5:25 remaining in the fourth.
Yeah, Pinder and,
And a foul there on Sanders.
Pinder and Barnes, you want them to keep being aggressive. They both got 4 fouls. I said it earlier about going after Barnes because he's got 4 fouls, but he hasn't scored any points tonight where Pinder has 15 points. Now he's going to the bench, but I'm going after him as soon as I can as well. You want to get their leading scorer out of the game.
And he'll have a seat, and Dow checks back in. Connor Dow checks back in for Broken Arrow, and Connor Dow off the bench. He had a couple of quick threes and really invigorated this Tiger team early on in the first half.
Yeah, both Pinder and Barnes had to go to the bench with 4 fouls, so look to take advantage of that if you're Union, if you can.
But now, A.J. Reed, I believe. Yep, A.J. Reed picks up his third. 16 fouls for half. And we'll shoot 1 and 1. No, we won't. Referee's talking it over. It's the first game for our officials as well, most of them. We got to speak to one of the officials at halftime, and he's got a football game, he said Friday night, his last football game, so he's still in a football mode. And a turnover there, sloppy play by Union.
Yeah, it looked like Cody Nagy was in football mode too as he come out from center field making a steal there. But
And 43-41, Broken Arrow retakes the lead on a nice bucket there by Golden. Cody Nagy sets it up. Nagy, Reed, Sanders, Davey, and Pierce on the floor. 2 points there, and we're knotted at 43.
I compared A.J. Reed to Dwayne Wade earlier, and he's showing a little bit another comparison of Flash right there. So you like to keep going at him. He seems like he's in a rhythm, and he wants to push it and he wants to drive, and he looks smooth when he does. So
inside, they're going to kick it out for 3. That's going to be off the mark. It may have got a piece of it. Pierce comes down with it. Nice board there by the sophomore. And the aforementioned A.J. Reed brings it up. And he almost throws it away. Nice hands there. I don't know if I could have walked through that. He dribbled a basketball through it. Nicely done. Now Nagy will look. Timeout. Coach Garcia needs a timeout. And so you know what? We're going to take a timeout. We're back in 1 minute. You're watching Union basketball on the Union Sports Network.
Along with home remodels and additions. Visit our website at pinnacledesignco.com for more information.
Welcome back into the UMAC. On the campus of Union High School, 3:34 remaining. We're knotted at 43. And Casey, got a final there from Stillwater?
yeah, Cowboys took down Oral Roberts 83-78. So nice win by Coach Boynton and his squad. Also, you got local product Bryce Thompson in Kansas taking down number 8 Creighton 73-72.
Nicely done. Nicely done. So we're back here. Reed with the ball. He'll drive the lane, and oh, he's rejected there. Big block by Zach Pugh, and Pugh will push it up. Broken Arrow will slow it down, and they'll set it up here with 3 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Knotted at 43. This is going to come down to a last possession type of scenario, it seems. Dow tries that three that he hit so often earlier.
Yeah, that was nice ball movement by BA there, and Dow got a shot that he wanted, and in the first half he hit both of those. So, yeah, that's something that BA is going to keep looking at. I know he missed that one, but it was good ball movement, good play, and executed it nicely. Just didn't come away with points right there.
Davey Fuller, Jones, Pierce, and Reed on the floor for Coach Rudy Garcia. 2:23, 2:22, 2:21 now remaining in the fourth. Reed with the ball. Good look as well. Grab and shoot, just couldn't get that one to go. Nice drive there. Can't get the ball to fall. Broken Arrow's ball. It seemed to go off a number of Union players down there. I'm not too sure what they were. Sure looked like it was off Union, unfortunately, even from our vantage point. Broken Arrow get the ball out of bounds, 2:02. Davey stays in. Sorry, Morris checked back in. Fuller checked out.
Yeah, he's probably just going to get a quick breather. I see him coming back in pretty soon.
Very good. Ball out of bounds is a turnover, and boy howdy, Coach Bo Wallace is none too pleased with that possession for Broken Arrow down the floor. Davey will bring it up.
I'd look to get the ball to Trey Morris here. You got Pinder with 4 fouls. I'd try to get him to get a little bit of isolation and try to get him into foul trouble and get him out of the game.
There you go. Oh, Morris cut into the basket, couldn't handle the pass from Davey. Davey will set it back up. Now give it to Reed. Jones is going to try to establish some presence underneath the board.
Yeah, he's wanting a little bit of isolation right here. They're trying to burn a little clock. It's been a tight game and getting some isolation. See if he can pull out some more Dwayne Wade in him right here.
There you go. Now that would be a good question. Is this a point with games like this? Would you like to see a shot clock at the high school level?
Yeah, you would like to. You know, it's something.
Nice jumper there. That's going to be out of bounds. Oh, that's going to be out of bounds. Given to Broken Arrow, but from our vantage point, that's not a very good call, but
yeah,
that's why the ref is there and I'm not.
Yeah, it looked like that was out on BA, but the ref was, you know,
A lot
2
closer
inches
than
away
us.
from the play. To
And we weren't.
half court for us. So.
Yes. Just under a minute remaining.
For the most part, refs have called this game pretty evenly both sides. So, you know, there's times where you complain about it and there's times where you don't. And I feel like the refs have done a pretty good job this game of calling it cleanly both ways.
Very good. That's a timeout by Broken Arrow. I tell you what, we're going to take a timeout as well. We're going to come back and finish this one up. You're watching Union Basketball on the Union Sports Network. Welcome back. We got 52 seconds remaining in this game, or at least in this quarter, as it's knotted at 43. So Casey, coming off the timeout here, what does Broken Arrow need to do or want to do here?
They're going to want to kill a little bit of clock. You're probably going to see Pinder get the ball and try to knock some of the time off of it. Definitely don't want to see him pull that up right there. But, you know, they're going to kill a little bit of clock. It's a tie ball game, so as much time as you can get off the clock, if you're Union, you don't want to foul, but you don't want him just to stand out there with, no ball movement.
Right, both teams at 6 fouls, team fouls at 6. Boy, Pinder showing some moves. Broken Arrow with the timeout. And so we're going to keep it right here because I got a question for you. Something that you guys might have picked up at home is Coach Garcia was standing just about where he is right now talking to the official. The official just to our right, basically at the three-point line, was telling the coaches to get back. Is there a point, and he was very demonstrative in telling the coaches to get back. At what point, I mean, obviously you can't come to half court, but there's no lines here where these coaches have to stay like you see in college and even at the pro level.
Yeah, I mean, he was coming out there because he thought they traveled. He wanted a call right there to get the ball back, and rightfully so. You want the ball back because they took 30 seconds off the clock in that possession. But, you can't, pull a Knight or Tuberville and get out on the court and throw a chair and make sure that you get the ref's attention. So he's probably going to get a little bit of warning, telling him to stay back.
But it didn't hurt the team.
No.
15 seconds, now down to 10. And they traveled, and Union gets the ball back. Oh, my goodness.
Sounds like the talk that he had worked for him.
Right. Union will take a timeout. They're going to get the ball back. We'll take a quick timeout. 11 seconds remaining. We're back in 30 seconds on the Union Sports Network. As we welcome you back inside the UMAC, 11 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. We're knotted at 43. Hey, folks, don't forget our next broadcast comes to you next Tuesday as Union plays host to the Booker T. Washington Hornets. The girls tip at 6:30 and the boys will start around 8 o'clock. That's next week. And yes, in case you have heard, the game, the girls' game was originally postponed. Now it is back on. So we are playing both girls and boys basketball against Booker T. Washington. That'll be next Tuesday, 6:30 for girls, 8 for boys, but we're not done here yet. 11 seconds remaining. Casey, what did Coach draw up here?
You're going to look for probably either a double pick to try to get something, an easy shot, but it looks like he's taking it down to the wire. Got to get rid of
3,
it. That's not what you want.
2, 1, no. And we're going to go to overtime. Early on here, we've got to play extra basketball. How about that? 1 minute. We're going to take a quick timeout so we can kind of collect ourselves. We'll be back in 50 seconds. You're watching Union Basketball Overtime Edition on the Union Sports Network. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Gentlemen, welcome to overtime basketball here on the Union Sports Network. Jump ball, we're going to play for 4 minutes. Pierce in, and Union will come away with the basketball. Reed will set it up.
Yeah, the boys said their season got cut short, so they decided they wanted to play some extra basketball right off the beginning.
There you go. That's exactly what we do. Reed, hard, kicks it out. Davey wanted the look, wasn't there for him, so he'll put it on the floor. Give it to Jones. Jones will play around a little bit, look for an open lane, tried to get the basket in as he thought Reed was cutting, but Reed was not there. Broken Arrow will bring it down, and Golden will set it up. Now Pinder. Pinder back to Golden. Over to Town. Back to Golden. He drives. Miss. Rebound. And a foul. Jared Barnes with the nice rebound. Foul there is going to be charged. Davey will be charged with the foul. Shooting 1 and 1 is going to be Jared Barnes.
Barnes looking for his first points of the night. He's been in foul trouble pretty much this whole game, so.
And there he got it. Nice little free throw stroke by the young man. How hard is it to know that you've played your tail off basically all game, been in a little foul trouble, but you're getting 2 points and some very necessary 2 points here in overtime.
You know, if he was a freshman or sophomore, you'd be a little bit worried, but him being a senior, this isn't his first time probably being in foul trouble. So he took a deep breath, set his feet, and did what he needed to do.
And Pierce with a three, and Union's up by 1. A nice drive on the baseline by Morris, and he kicked it out. There to Pierce, and Pierce hit the three. Quickly, Davey gets his 4th foul, and that'll send Tyler Pinder to the line. I was looking down at a stat sheet when it happened. It was right here in front of us, though, and they'll miss.
Yeah, he didn't quite get in front of him like you'd want to. He was definitely in good position.
Morris charged with the carry there. And that was pretty obvious.
Yeah,
He was trying to make a fancy move. Didn't quite work out.
Yeah, the fans aren't going to like it, but from our vantage point, it was very clear.
Yep. Now Pinder. Slowing it down a little bit. Does fatigue play into this at all?
You know,
This early?
later in the season, I would say yes, but first game of the season, no. I mean, these, we're talking 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, so.
Big strip, that's a good point. Great steal, and Jediah Jones with the nice finish.
These kids aren't lacking on the energy side.
Good point. How many steps is that? Reed with the steal. Pierce. Oh! Little razzle-dazzle by the sophomore. Oh, my. And Coach Wallace wants a timeout.
You know, if you watched him on that play, you got a 6'7" forward running down the court, going behind the back, laying it up. You would think Kevin Durant, Cade Cunningham had the ball there, but no, it's a sophomore making nice plays at the end of the game.
That's it. So energy, so we're going to keep it here and talk about energy for a minute. And I know we're talking about 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, but I guess my point was you're early in the season. Is your conditioning there like it would be towards the end of this season?
It's tough to tell. You got some kids who, in the off season they put in the work like they want, and it looks like right now most of these kids have. So it could be a factor. Right now it doesn't look like it is, but yeah, I mean, if they didn't put in the work in the off season, it's an issue and it would show up. But right now it looks like both of them are playing pretty good.
50-45 with 150 remaining in overtime. Coach Bo Wallace took that timeout to probably settle his troops down a little bit. Has a great run with buckets from Jones and the sweet little fancy move from Pierce.
Yeah, you typically don't want to stop right there, but watching this game live, those kids were getting very excited with what just happened. So you kind of want to take a step back, calm them down, let them know, hey guys, we got over a minute and a half left. We can't get too out of control here and stay within ourselves.
So that timeout could work for both teams.
It could. Union, in my opinion, Union did the right call by calling a timeout. And, you don't want to.
As everybody comes crashing to our side of the table, but everybody's fine. Nice hustle there by Jared Barnes.
Yeah, one thing that you won't see probably from the camera angle is him checking on the guy that he just ran into. So you like to see that from a young man. He didn't intend to run into him, but it's good that he was checking on him, and everybody came away okay on that. Just a couple scattered papers and a cell phone on the floor.
Hopefully that cell phone's got a little insurance on it. Obviously, both programs coaching the game of basketball, but coaching what it's like to be good citizens, good young men as well. Jones with the drive and the dish. Beautiful finish, and Jediah Jones is on fire here in overtime with 4 of the last 6 points. Hard to the basket, no call.
We've talked a lot about Broken Arrow's senior leadership.
Ooh.
And that was a hard foul.
That was a hard foul. Nope. That was a hard foul for sure, and Coach Rudy Garcia's barking a couple of things, and so's the ref for that matter.
Yeah, A.J. Reed is still down.
Yep, he was going hard to the basket. And I would tell you what Coach Garcia is saying, but I'm just going to let the fans' imagination run amok, because he is not happy at all, and AJ's still down. I would say may have cramped up, but at this point, there's probably not a lot of cramping. You're pretty loose at this point.
Yeah, it looks like he might have got a little bit of cramp, but they're also checking that ankle and knee. He came down really hard on that play.
Bo Wallace will bring his group back over.
He looks like he's in a little bit of pain.
As they check on the ankle. We're going to see Reed jump up here. Or not jump, but get up. Get a really nice hand from the fans on both sides.
It's good to see him getting up and walking off on his own accord.
Now, is this similar to football in that he's got to come out because of an injury, or?
Yeah, he's got to come out for the play. Even though he was fouled, they're going to send someone else in to shoot the free throws. He can come back in as soon as the free throws are done, but he does have to come out because of an injury timeout.
And they continue to work on him behind the official scores table on the opposite side of our vantage point here. Coach Garcia took a timeout, so you know what? We're going to take a timeout as well. 58 seconds remaining in the overtime. 52-45, Union on top of BA. Welcome back to Overtime Basketball here on the Union Sports Network. We got 58 seconds remaining. Reed drove hard to the basket and was fouled. He's getting checked on.
Yeah, you
And
hope
Mo
he's
Rennie
all
gets
right.
to shoot. Yeah, we hope he is all right. Mo Rennie gets to shoot his free throws. Looks like he is up and sitting now, getting a little drink of water. Wiping his face off, so we only wish the best for Mr. Reed. 52-45. Rennie misses both of them, but hustle there. Rennie gets the rebound, knocked out of bounds by Broken Arrow.
Yeah, he missed both of them, but he did his part and come up with the rebound there and ended up getting hit and going out of bounds. Reed's coming back in.
There it is. Reed checks back in, gets a really nice hand from the Union crowd. He'll take the ball out of bounds. Aaron Johnson checks back in, the sophomore from Broken Arrow, as Dow checks out. And here we go, 55 remaining in overtime.
Yeah.
Jones, it was Jones back to Reed. Sorry, Casey, go right ahead.
I was just going to say that was a defensive substitution right there.
Short, out again. Broken Arrow looking to run it to Davey. Davey pulls up. That was a nice job by Davey to just stop. Stop on a dime, let the defender go over you, and then put the easy two in. Oh, and a big three there. Pinder says we will not go away quietly. 54-48. Broken Arrow with a timeout. And right here, I'm imagining that out of this timeout, we're going to see a full court press by Bo Wallace's squad.
Yeah, you're probably going to see full court press. If they break half court, you're probably going to see a quick foul to get him to the line, because I think they're still in one-on-one situation. So if you can get a quick foul, get him to the line to where you potentially, they miss it and you get the ball back.
So who are they looking to foul in this case? Obviously, Reed's got a hot hand right now. Pierce has got a hot hand right now.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to foul. I really don't know who you go at right here, because they're all playing right now really good. So you probably go after Jediah Jones would be my guess,
but he's come alive in overtime as well. So I think it's right. I think this is a good situation for Union to bring in, or to be in, for the simple fact that we are playing well right now in this part of the game, and it's tough to say you're going to actually foul this particular player.
yeah, you don't want to be in this position, but if you can get a quick foul here, as long as you don't get a turnover before they cross half court, because more than likely they're going to push it. If they get to half court, that's when you'll see that early foul.
Davey, Jones, Reed, Pierce, and Morris throwing the ball in. Will be the 5 for Union, and a turnover there. No foul needed, but by golly. Quick hustle there by Jared Barnes, and that's going to be ball out of bounds on Union as he hustled to knock that ball off A.J. Reed.
Yeah, defensive substitution for an offensive substitution. Look at either Pinder or Dow probably taking this shot for a three.
It's got to be a quick release. Oh, and it's blocked there. Morris got it set up. They want a foul, but there is no way you're going to get a foul there. We're down to 6 seconds. Jediah Jones comes alive again as he gets another bucket, and there we are. Union takes the opening game 56-48 in overtime with help by Jediah Jones, who scored at least 6 points in that overtime. So folks, don't forget, our next broadcast comes to you next Tuesday as Union plays host to Booker T. Washington. Girls start at 6:30, the boys at 8. So for our camera crew, Miles, Justine, and Alyssa, our director, Andy Irwin, and of course, Casey Jordan, I'm Jim Douthit. Thanks for joining us on the Union Sports Network, and we'll see you in a week. Good night, everybody.